Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows. So I'm like a mess tonight, and that's how it is. My hair's probably a mess. I don't even know what's going on. I took my glasses so that there wasn't a glare, but that's all I did to fix myself. So anyway, today is Thursday. I haven't done a video since Tuesday, so we'll go back to what happened yesterday. Tuesday night into Wednesday night was a good night, seizure-wise. I know that's how all my videos start, but that does a lot of what's going on in our house. That is really loud in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear the Answers in Genesis that's playing in the other room.
Sorry.
But anyway, so we have, our nights are based on whether Josiah has a lot of seizures or not. We have a 8-month-old baby, and he's usually not the one who keeps me up at night, even though sometimes he is, which we'll get into in a minute. But anyway, Tuesday night into Wednesday night was a good night. We had a good night's sleep, and I don't know. Okay, so here's the other thing about being a seizure mom. He wears a seizure watch, which calls me when he has seizures, and I write down when he has seizures because we're keeping all this information for our doctors. So we're gonna go to the seizure log. See, long seizure log. So let me see, because I don't even remember day to day what happened. So, oh, that's Saturday. That's Tuesday. That's Wednesday. That's another Saturday. Yeah, see, I've got lots of weeks on here. So we had Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday, we had a good day. We had no seizures overnight, Monday into Tuesday. But then I'm talking Tuesday into Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Wednesday morning, we had 2 seizures while we were supposed to be sleeping. So we had to deal with those. They weren't terrible, but one of them did keep us both awake for a little while. So that's what happened on to Wednesday morning. So then yesterday was our 20th anniversary. That's right. So the kids let us stay in bed while they made breakfast. Did I talk about this on something? For some reason I'm thinking I talked about this already, but I don't think I did a video last night, did I?
No, I think you talked briefly in the library video.
Gotcha. Okay, so the kids let us have breakfast didn't let us have breakfast in bed. We hung out in bed while they started making breakfast, and they kept an eye on everybody. Which, if you know, in our household, that doesn't happen very often. Then we spent the day doing things. I don't remember everything we did. We had a long discussion in Bible, but I can't tell you right now what it was about because I don't remember. At some point yesterday, we went out because we took some of our Goodwill stuff to Rockland, our yard sale stuff to Goodwill in Rockland to drop off. They didn't take everything because we had some baby stuff, and Goodwill's not taking baby stuff right now. So we took the baby stuff to a local consignment store, which we didn't really want to consign, but we gave it to a local crisis pregnancy center, like it's going to go on their account. Then we stopped at the library, which I did the library haul yesterday. The reason that I did the library haul by myself, it was just me and Naomi with all the kids, was because Mark, when we came home from that, I came in to use the bathroom to do a couple things, and by the time I got back outside, Mark was limping. His leg hurt really bad. We called the doctor, and they said because it came on suddenly and it was late in the day, he should go over and get checked out at the ER to make sure it wasn't a blood clot, because our doctor's office doesn't have an ultrasound machine. By the time we would have seen them, it would have been later in the day. So this all started around like 3 o'clock, I think. Mm-hmm. So we took him over because we only have 2 drivers, Virginia being one, me being the other, but we only have 1 set of car seats. We decided it would be best if I took Virginia and Mark over to the hospital and then check out with my mom to see what she was doing for the rest of the day to see if she could be a driver for us.
And
so
Virginia has to stay with me because...
Oh yeah, and Virginia has to stay with Mark because of his dystonia. He cannot make decisions, especially when he's in a very stressed situation. So he needs a person with him at all medical appointments. So that is Virginia, because that leaves me to take care of other people's needs. So anyway, we went and dropped them off at the hospital. We called my mom, who was leaving work to get a haircut and then going back to work because she was on call last night. But that worked out fine because after she was done with her call case, she went to see them in the ER and was able to stay and wait till they came home. No blood clot. They have no idea why Mark's leg hurt. Mark's leg still hurts today, but less. Somewhat less, and we're not stressed about it because it got all checked out yesterday, and there was no blood clot. They can't tell us what it was, but...
We weren't stressed in the first place.
We were stressed about having to go to the hospital and figure out how all the rides were going to work and everything. We just wanted to make sure that if it was a blood clot, we dealt with it early, because it's just one of those things that there are certain medical things that if you wait longer, it's harder to fix. Correct. So anyway, I have like a hair hanging that I can see in the camera. Anyway, so by the time Mark got home last night, it was 7. Kids stayed up a little late so they could see Daddy when he got home. They had a late supper. Him and Virginia had a late supper. But our meals yesterday, I don't remember all of them. We had eggs and rolls for breakfast.
We had like a pizza, sourdough,
Yeah.
something or other.
Last night for supper, we had like So I told you we made this like it's a sourdough skillet is what it's called. It's on the website Farmhouse on Boone. I follow her on Instagram. So anyway, what I did was we cooked up hamburger with peppers and onions. Then we added crushed tomatoes that had basil in them to that mixture, and then put a sourdough skillet on top. So it was like sourdough discard along with eggs and some baking powder and I don't remember what else. And put that on top and cooked it so it was kind of like a crust. Oh, and then we put mozzarella cheese on the top. We have not had anything pizza-like in a while because Josiah has just recently been reintroduced to dairy and he's not doing bread, gluten and stuff like that. Our sourdough starter is gluten. He does not eat that. We make changes for him. So his dinner last night was the base, the hamburger and tomatoes and stuff like that, put in a pan with some mozzarella cheese on top and then just baked in the oven. So anyway, that was our supper. We had a salad for lunch yesterday with meat and dressings on it. So yeah, that's what we did for meals. So then, and also the kids wanted to make us a special meal for our anniversary, a special snack for our anniversary. So they gave us grapes and pretzels, like we had little pretzel sticks, like the little tiny ones.
We didn't order pizza.
So then they were, taking the grapes and sticking them on top of the pretzel sticks to make me, what were they calling them? Popsicles, I think. Lollipops. They were calling them lollipops. So they were making us those for snack yesterday while we were trying to figure out how we were getting Mark over there and all of that. But anyway, he came home last night. I don't even remember what we did because by the time he came home and we said our prayers and got everyone to bed, it was late. And then we went to bed. So then I was woken up multiple times in the middle of the night. Hold on. So Tuesday into Wednesday, I don't actually think he had seizures. Remember, I looked at my phone? I think I was looking at this morning. So anyway, we had multiple seizures that I had to stay awake for last night. Not that I had to stay awake. He had his seizure and it got done. We didn't have to give him emergency medication. He just was not recovering as fast as I wanted him to. And I get nervous going to sleep when I don't feel it. I don't know. As a mom, I think you can understand what I'm saying. I can't explain it to somebody who doesn't get it. So it's just one of those, if you know, you know. But I just didn't feel comfortable going to bed with him just having a seizure. So he slept in our room and I sat next to him for a while. So I did not sleep much last night. And then the baby, who normally sleeps really well and doesn't wake up until the pitter patter of little feet come in my room at 6 o'clock when the big kids are allowed out of bed, he decided to wake up at 4:30 this morning. So he currently is asleep in the hallway. So I'll explain that I was sitting here this evening in our bed feeding the baby and Mark had just gone outside. The girls were doing something in the kitchen so they didn't hear me and I looked at our little screen over here where I can see Josiah and I thought he was having a seizure. So Gideon was awake at that point. I walked over and set Gideon in the hallway as I said, seizure, but nobody heard me in the kitchen, which was fine because by the time that I got to Josiah, I realized that it wasn't very bad and he was almost over it. But I turned around and looked back and Gideon had gone from sitting up, because he had been eating, I set him down, he was sitting up and he was asleep on the floor right there. So I left him there while I had a snack and I'm about to go get him. But I remembered we were going to do a video. I can see him, like from where I'm sitting, I can see him. He's safe. And Uriah is still asleep in the living room.
No, I put him in his bed.
Oh, he got put in his bed. he fell asleep during prayer time. So we left him out there to sleep, thinking if he woke up, we'd have him moved to his room. But he never woke up, so he got moved to his room. I don't want to leave the kids asleep. People can do things differently. I am not judging any parents to do this. I have children that if they woke up in the middle of the living room with nobody around and it was dark, they'd be crying and scared. So I moved them to their beds. When I was a kid, if I would have fallen asleep in the living room, my parents would have left me right there and I would have woken up and gone to my bed. It's just our kids don't fall asleep in the living room regularly, so I know that they'd have a problem with that. Anyway, so I didn't sleep well last night. I know Mark didn't sleep great last night because of the pain, and we were both up with some of the seizures. So I let Mark sleep in this morning. We just were quiet in the living room reading some books till he got up. But then I told him, so now I'm going to take a nap later in the day. We have to make things work sometimes when we're both overtired. So Mark has an easier time sleeping in, and I have easier time taking a nap. So that just works for our family, that if I know he's tired, I let him sleep in the morning. I don't wake him up. I just sneak out of the room, and he knows that I need a nap later in the day. So anyway, we had breakfast. We had oatmeal for breakfast. So we've been adding eggs to our oatmeal. It holds everyone over longer. That's been good. Then we did some stuff. Oh, our day got messed up. That's the other thing that happened today. So we're doing a summer camp computer thing. It's just different videos that show different cooking skills, different, I don't know, we watched things about money today. We watched things about composting. It just had a bunch of different stuff. You can watch different videos for a 24-hour period. So that's something we were planning to do anyway this week. Plus, we had our driveway paved last summer, and they ran out of pavement right at the end of the driveway. So they had told us that they'd come back this year and repave just the last 5 feet of the driveway. And so they came back this morning and do that. So the kids wanted to see what was going on. So the paver people cut a ditch and brought new hot pavement. And we actually got to go sit right next to the edge and watch them do all that. So the kids thought that was really fun. Right?
Yeah.
Then we did Bible, which was Romans 16. And so there was a lot of names. And we talked about how the church was very connected at that time. We also talked about being, I forget how it says it, but talking about being wise about what's good and innocent about the evil. And we were talking about how we should focus more on the good and less on the evil. So if we tell our children how important marriage is to God and how God has designed marriage and how a man and a woman should relate to each other and all of this stuff, we don't have to point out when people are trying to pervert marriage, because we would have told them what God's design for it was. Same thing with abortion. It's not that you never say abortion is wrong, but if you talk about how God is the one who brings life, God is the one who decides when our life ends, and that we're not the ones who do that, you don't have to tell your kids that it's not okay to kill, because they will understand the value of human life.
We still tell them those things.
We still do tell them those things.
We don't go into the gory details.
Right. We're just saying that it's Josiah, Samuel, turn it down. Samuel's trying to turn something on and it's got ads or something. Turn it down. So anyway, what was I saying? So we were talking about talking about the good things, talking about how God has designed things and focusing on those. So then we had lunch, which was very yummy. We just baked up some chicken and we had salads with chicken and some rice on the side. And guacamole has been a new favorite in our house. We've been getting the little guacamole cups you can get from, the last ones I got were at Sam's. They were really good. So we've been enjoying guacamole recently. Then after lunch, I took a nap. The lawn got mowed, some laundry got folded, some dishes got washed, supper got made. We did some stuff.
We sort of
hung out with my mom. We went for a walk. We did go for a walk. There were children, but we had a 2.5-year-old who kept trying to jump in the stroller and then jump out of the stroller and jump in the stroller and jump out of the stroller. But we did get to walk for a while. We got to talk. And we made focaccia bread for the first time. That was one of the videos we watched on the computer today. And then we made that for supper along with, I had done a fridge clean out this morning. I forgot to mention that, but I did a fridge clean out this morning. We had bought a rotisserie chicken the other day. We had to grab something quick. And so we got a rotisserie chicken. I cooked that down today and used the broth to make a chicken soup tonight that I actually remembered to put chicken in. And we had that with the focaccia bread. It was really good. And then, what? You're looking at me funny. And then the laundry got finished folding and put away. We read a chapter or part of our Shoe Fly Girl book that we've been reading about Amish, and we prayed together as a family. And then the older girls and Mark and I watched, what was it called?
Great Mercy.
Great Mercy. It was from Heart Cry Missionary Society, and it was about Belleville South in Africa. South Africa?
Cape Town, South Africa.
Cape Town. And it was talking about this city that there's lots of drugs going on, lots of children living on the streets, lots of murders going on, and how God has just been an ever-present part of that community, and a church building that they were able to get, that they're able to now reach out to the community around them, and just what God's doing in their community. It was really good. Virginia's been talking to Mario, who's one of the missionaries there, who's in the video, and so it was neat to be able to see him and the area that he's working in. It just made it more real when you can see those things. So that was good. It was a really good video, so we encourage you to watch it. Maybe Mark will remember to put it in the comments. We'll see. And then we also watched a thing about the SBC and the decisions that have been made there over the last couple days. And it was interesting because we watched Wretched with Todd Friel. We don't watch that all the time, but we happened to watch that tonight. And it was just talking. What? Oh, yeah. Now we're going to watch James White about it. But what Todd Friel was saying that I was going to share was just that different people are going to make different decisions on whether they stay a part of the SBC or not because of these decisions that are being made. And we shouldn't judge other people because there's a lot of decisions going into whether you're staying a part of it or not. But what he was saying was to make decisions based on your local church, because the idea is that the SBC is supposed to be kind of supporting the local church. The local church kind of pays dues, and then the SBC is supposed to support them. And if your local church is not going to, if the future of your church and the future of the SBC are not matching up and you feel like you need to step out of it, then that's what you need to do. And you need to look at what's good for your local church. And also in the other way, if your local church needs to stay a part of the SBC because of varying reasons you think that needs to happen, then that's what should happen. That should be something talked about by a local church decision. But we shouldn't berate one another for the decisions that are made there. So I just thought that was really good. But it's based on the future of your local church, not whether you should stay part of an organization necessarily or not. So that was just interesting. So yeah, I think that's all that. Oh, the girls also did a Bible study with their friends down in Tennessee. Virginia got her copy of her book that is going to be published next week. Monday
official publish date.
If you want a copy of that, stay in touch. We'll tell you how to get a copy of that.
Called Dear Ruth.
Dear Ruth, and if you look on Virginia Cowperthwaite Facebook, right? That's her Facebook page is Virginia Cowperthwaite. She's been posting sentences from her book, like little quotes from her book. So go ahead and look for that. So I guess that's all that's going on. We are about to move Josiah in our room. Because of Josiah just having seizures, we occasionally move him in here at night onto the floor so that he's a little closer and we can watch him. We just got a email that his seizure watch. Josiah, you can come in here if you want. So Josiah wears a seizure watch that if he starts to shake, which are the kinds of seizures that we actually sometimes have to give him medicine for. Not every time, but the other kind that he has where he gets stiff, we've never had to give medicine for. It's these shaky ones. If he starts to shake, his watch calls my phone. And we just found out that watch is going to be going under maintenance later in the month. So we're just going to have to make sure that we're even closer I might just sleep next to him on those nights so that I can know if he's having a seizure, because my phone won't call me. Even though we've known every time. Are you coming? I think he might be stuck just in his blankets. He's coming. So just so that we know, every time the watch has called my phone, I've known it's calling. You can go lay on your spot. Every time I've known it's calling because I'm already with him. It's never let me know. It has called me when he's not having a seizure, because sometimes in the summer, if we play outside too much and he gets too many bug bites, he'll scratch and he'll set the seizure watch off. But every time he's had a seizure and it's called me, I've already been aware of the seizure happening, but it's still a nice backup. So
it doesn't actually detect seizures.
Right. It detects that he's shaking.
Right.
And so when we first got it, we were trying to leave it on him all the time. Lay your head on this end. And his favorite activity is to sweep. And if you sweep with the seizure watch on, it tells us he's having a seizure. So it is very good, though. If you know someone with seizures and you want more information, let me know. I can tell you. We got it through a prescription through our doctor. And then you can pay a monthly fee to have it call different amounts of phone lines and stuff like that. So anyway, it's really interesting. But that's it. I need to go to bed because it's been late. He's already had a seizure, so I need to get some rest in case we're up tonight. But that's what it's like in a family with special needs kids, and just a lot of kids in general, is some nights don't go as it's planned. And so Mark and I will eventually get to celebrate our anniversary. We're just not sure when that's going to be. It's only 20 years. Sometime down the line, we'll be able to do that. So for those who don't know our story, Mark and I were married 20 years ago yesterday. And we've had one night, we got a bed and breakfast the night of our wedding. Friends gave us that. They own a bed and breakfast, so they gave us a night for our wedding night. And the next day we went and picked up Nathaniel and took him home because he was living with us full time. Like DHS had called us and he was living with us full time at that point. And my parents, I think, had the kids one night. We were discussing when, I don't know, we had been married 2 or 3 years. Yeah. Before Naomi was born. Before we decided we were going to have more kids after Virginia.
So 15 years ago at least. 16.
Yeah. 16 or 17 years ago. So anyway, so it's been a long time. We don't want to be away from our kids necessarily, but we have a lot of things that hinder us from just being able to say, hey guys, you go watch a movie, we're going to go hang out. That just doesn't happen in our house because of our complications, and God is gracious in all of those, and we still have a very good, loving relationship, even in spite of not having date nights that everyone says you have to have. So that's it, right? Oh, the kids did a couple activities with us today that they had wanted to do yesterday that we didn't get to do because Daddy was at the hospital. But as a family, we played apples to apples, and we also had a Q&A where they asked us questions about things we used to like to do when we were kids and when we first started dating. And then Mark found his yearbook it wasn't his yearbook.
6th grade.
It was his 5th grade, right?
I think it was 6th.
5th or 6th grade.
5th or 6th.
He was only at that school for 2 years, so it was one of those grades. And it had him and his brothers all in it because it was a small Christian school, so all the students were in it. It had pictures of his dad.
We're 6.5 years apart, and yet we were
on the same basketball
team.
It had pictures of his dad. It had pictures of some people that the kids know in real life. Our friend Rachel and Danny and their daughter Abby that we've mentioned on here before. Danny was in his school and Danny's sister, so the kids were finding it fun to find pictures of them and then taking pictures and sending them to their friend Abby. It was interesting. So we had a good time. We're going to go to bed, and we will see you guys next time on Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God.